Hail Saint, everybody. I am back by special request. Seriously, it was a special request to speak about something. And this special request was from within the Brotherhood of Saint and Infernal clergy. Just like the last request about the satanic ritual abuse video that I did. Oftentimes, our own high clergy make me so proud. That they have incentive and they know the issues out there in Satanism and the left-hand path. And they have a touch of the pulse of the Brotherhood current as well. It's a vibration, right? And they know when's the right time to talk about things. And they've learned a lot of that from me as well. Because I always go on natural law and timing of things. Oftentimes I don't have the right people working with me, so some things don't happen exactly the way Drew wanted them to, right? But then you move on and you get the better people to work with you. That's how it works. Okay. Today, in my book of Devilish Deeds, by special request, let me remove my Brotherhood RAM. We have Who is Satan to the Brotherhood? Okay. Yeah, I'm going there, and it's a tough one. Okay. Because I want people that are atheistic Satanists to also watch this video. Okay, I want to give them a different perspective at least. That's all that's all I'm about. Give you a different perspective about Satan from a generational point of view for a change. A theistic generational point of view. How do we look at Satan's being? Was Satan always here? There you go. And to be honest with you, there's that controversial question. Was Satan always here? Was Satan an invention of the Judaic, Abrahamic, Christian line of thinking? Was he invented by them? Or was there an actual entity, a spiritual entity that's always been in the picture, but in the dark? Okay, in the darkness. We know Lilith gave birth to the demons, right? But there had to be copulation. So through Samael, who's also called another Satan, by the way. In fact, check this out, all you Satanists out there watching my vid. Okay. Which makes Satan, therefore, a very, very, very old spiritual entity. Okay, much like my own generational Brotherhood family that raised me from a child on up, okay, in the Brotherhood, taught me that Satan was God. Okay. And later, when I was stationed and sent to an assignment in Southern California as a master counselor by my grandmother, I was took to the side by another senior Brotherhood member who was also the past master of the Oceano Masonic Temple at the time, which is kind of interesting, and a High Rosicrucian. But he was involved in a lot of things, just like Drew, right? Okay. And he took me to the side and said, let me give you some more spiritual coaching, son. What you need to do is don't be so blatant. Because believe me, I, as a young Satanist, was very blatant about being a Satanist. It was all over my persona when I went to public and everything else. Well, now because of my positions in the Brotherhood and stuff, both secretive and online, right? Of course, I've had to tone down being too blatant in the wrong places. And I'm in the Bible Belt, by the way, where they wanted me. Think about that one. I'll do an inverted crucifix for that. Okay. But he coached me and he told me, suffice it enough to know that Satan is God. You can say, God bless you. You can say, God be with you. But you as a Satanist, a secretive Brotherhood Satanist, bloodline generational Satanist, you know something that they don't know. And you know who that God you're referring to is. Okay. Let's go to King Solomon for a second, okay? Since we're talking about Satan. Okay. In Solomon's time, we know Solomon did demon summonings and things of the like, right? But he actually participated with a lot of his wives, who were actually high priestesses of various cults, right? Because they were from different cultures that Solomon protected against invaders and stuff. And he let them build their temples and have their temples to their demon and demonesses right within Solomon's temple. Kind of cool, actually. But Solomon did not compel the demons to do anything. It wasn't he forced them. He was a master magician and could force the demons to do this and that. No. Solomon had an actual affinity with the demons. He had an accord with the demons. He had a relationship with the demons. Okay. Solomon. Let's use his right name. Okay. Even had a pagan title of a high king. Okay. Another story. Drew can tell you lots of these stories are from within the Brotherhood teachings that I was passed down as a child to today. Lots of these things. Okay. But back to Satan. But why I mentioned Solomon is because Solomon was a master at something else that people don't know in the ceremonial things that he did. Intonation and vibration. He vibrated those energies, those intonations, incantations, right? Evocations, invocations. He put that energy out and vibrated it. And in the name Satan, you take it back to our older version. This was the only thing I agreed with what the woman who was a generational Satanist that was interviewed by Jansing, I believe was her name, who was interviewed by the COS about generational Satanism. The woman really didn't know anything, okay? We'll teach you the real generational Satanists if you want to know. Even to you theistic Satanists and atheistic Satanists, right? Because why? There's nothing we're hiding. We're just giving you a different perspective. We're a satanic unity organization. Big difference. We can have an accord with everybody. If you're using the label Satanist, Satan owns you. You can debate that with me, argue with me, whatever you want to. You don't believe in Satan, you do believe in Satan. Okay. Drew's not here to argue anything with you. I know it. Satan has you. Okay. Another story. Again, your perspective, whether you're genuine or not, right? Okay. Again, in the name Satan, do it in the old way, which is vibrating the name Satan. Okay, many people that come to our fest see Drew do demon summonings, okay, and I do vibrate those demonic names. That's how they're supposed to be summoned. You don't go through the fucking motions and do a dull ritual. No energy in it. Okay. Again, this is where your black flame develops and comes out, right, when you're doing things properly for Satan. All right, again, another story. So there's vibratory energy in the name Satan. Is there really? Yes. It's done twice. Now, back even Solomon acknowledged this, that was a vibratory connection to supreme entity, supreme universal being, whatever we want to call it, the great architect of the universe to us Masons, right? I call it God. Or the Dark Mother actually is who has the expanse of the whole universe. There's another story too. Oh boy. Talking real generation stuff in our histories. That goes back to the real fallen angels and their tales, right? Okay, another story. So you have two words. Satan. A lot more stronger, isn't it? And it's a vibration. So our terminology, Satan, Satan, Shaitan, We're going to have many, many names for Satan, right? Even Samael is a saint. Okay. So again, I have to say this to the atheistic Satanists. We all believe in the demons. Even that's in the Satanic Bible, authored by Dr. LaVey. To give him kudos for it. It was a great, great book. Okay. Was it a generational Satanic Bible? Was it a Satanic Bible? In my opinion, no. But LaVey says in the Satanic Rituals book, the companion to the book, that he borrowed the rituals of Satanism came from where? The Freemasons, Gnostics, he cites us all. And they're all siblings of the Brotherhood, by the way. So the Satanic Bible has, yes, Satanic philosophy. Yes, 13 steps way to Satanic ritual. An invocation to Satan does show the demons. All that's correct. All that's correct. But Enochian is from the other parts of the occult world, right? Enochian was not a part of Satanism. Did possible Satanists that were mystics in past history over in, say, England, may have had secretive satanic leanings too? That's a possibility, right? We can say that. Drew could say it's probably probable. All right. There you go. But that's Enochian. It was not satanic, right? Okay. Now, a satanic Bible would be a Bible, and there are some talked about in generational Satanism that they really exist, okay? Now, a satanic Bible would be channeled by, no, not fucking Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or any of those other idiots, right? False prophets. It would be channeled by Satan and or a subordinate demon of Satan's that he authorized to do that, maybe. Okay. And there's a big difference in a Bible that's channeled by Satan, okay? And you have to be very careful with this understanding of these things, right? Because Satan is that old of an entity and spiritual deity, right? He's very, very old. But you have to be very, very careful in receiving channelings from Satan. And I'm going to say why. There are also a lot of spirits out there that are considered prankster, mischievous, coyote type of spirits, okay? Okay, Loki type of spirits. Not to say anything bad about Loki. There's a time and place for misrule in that too. Don't get me wrong. I was born April 1st. Think about that one. Okay. But watch out for those because you might think you're getting a channeling from Satan and it's not Satan, right? And again, you must be an adept to have real channeling from Satan, a satanic adept. Because you have to be strong enough of a satanic magician to know if you're being fooled or not. Okay, not for the dabblers. Drew's telling you this straight out. Not for the novices or dabblers. All right. So again, we have to look at Satan as much, much older, guys and girls, okay? And I can understand in some ways why the Church of Satan goes, well, we got to make it atheistic, blah, 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 because we can't be confused with anything that's reverse Christian, blah. And I can agree. And generationals are saying we're not reverse Christian, we're pre-Christian. Okay. There you go. There you go. Big difference. And Satanism did exist before 1966. Okay. All right. Not publicly. There you go. And there's what I do give Dr. LaVey some kudos for. He had a great time to be doing it in. He was in the hippie culture in San Francisco at the right time, right? Okay. I know. I was in 8th grade going into freshman high school, okay? I lived through that time, so nobody can blow smoke up my ass about early Satanism in America, especially. All right. Or Europe, for that matter. But back to Satan. So Satan has to have a different presentation, right? Now, if you go to brotherhoodofsatan.us, you can read what I have to say about Satan, Lucifer, and Satanus Luciferi, and the connections between all three. Now, the third one is actually a fusion of both, Satan and Lucifer, but it explains them both as separate entities, which they absolutely are. Okay, it's like being on a current, right? Like I said earlier, but knowing the vibration. Well, in this case, these are going to be different vibrations because they're two different spiritual entities that we honor. Principalities as well. Well, actually, one's a king, Satan. Okay. So where did, Ozzy get glorifying NIB, doing the song NIB and glorifying Lucifer right after that, during the same song, and then telling everybody, God bless you right afterwards. It's exactly what I was alluding to earlier, right? Ozzy knew what God he was talking about. They just said it in generality, though. Well, there you go. And yes, we do keep our secrets. We know what those are, though, and then we actually have modes of recognition. We have terminology in the Brotherhood. There's ways we know each other. It's much like the Masonic, handshake, right? Whereby one Mason may know another in the darkness as well as in the light, right? Another story. Okay. So how old is Satan? Wow. Satan's name has been used as a vibratory word of God that came down through ancient cultures, okay? Let's erase. Here's a chalkboard. Here's Drew's Master Council Gab. I'm erasing everything on that fucking chalkboard, guys, about Abrahamic and Judaic views of Satan. It's gone. Let's go back to the ancient cultures and the ancient mystery schools, where the real answers lie. The very places of origins of our demons, which were called in those cultures gods and goddesses. They too had spiritual powers. Okay? And this may be where the Brotherhood differs from the COS and those atheistic Satanists, right? Because we know they each have power. Each one of those demons and demonesses has their own unique attributes and powers. You must do the research and do your homework. Satan's homework. For you to know Satan, you must know everything about Satan. Then you might be a believer in Satan. Okay, throughout history, he's had so many names. From the dark pagan witchcraft and dark pagan cultures as the horned god. So many different names and so many different cultures. Okay. Powerful attributes, that's for sure. So we know Satan is much, much older. We've erased Judaic and Abrahamic equations off the fucking satanic chalkboard. To that. Okay. And we go back to a whole different perspective and view of Satan. Okay. And it has to go back to a theistic view of Satan. Why? Okay. As in all history, there is mystery. And within Satanism, we're not excluded from our mysteries too. And it's a great mystery when you have two factions of Satanism claiming Satan doesn't exist in reality, and the literal Satanists, us theistic Satanists, saying yes, he absolutely exists. Okay. I'm going to go back to the same thing I said earlier. We're all calling ourselves Satanists. Let's start focusing. Want to say you hear some Satan channeling for you? Let's start focusing on all the commonalities we have, not our fucking differences and diversity. You're calling yourself a Satanist. Drew and the Brotherhood, we don't give a rat's ass about how you want to see Satan, because I still, on the same hand, as a real good Brotherhood Master Counselor, am going to champion your satanic freedom to see Satan any way you fucking want to. But give us the satanic respect back. Okay? I have no problem fielding all these questions. I like the controversial questions, and I know we're going to get them. We're going to get them from the profane, those outside of Satanism. We're going to get them from atheistic movement and Satanism too, right? But you have to have knowledgeable people that can talk to them and actually can talk about these things in a more comprehensive manner. In other words, they comprehend what you're saying to them. And you have to be a good speaker like Drew. You have to be an orator that can actually use integrated thinking. Because you have all these thoughts hitting you at the same time. Talk about channeling from Satan, by the way. And to try to express it in a proper way as a satanic leader. And talk about Satan for a change. Another thing I would recommend people do, go to Drew's blog, brotherhoodsatan.us. Go to the blog written by Drew, where I talk about being an advocate of Satan, the satanic advocate. And I talk more about Satan there. And again, like I said in another article where I discuss Satan, Lucifer, and Satanus Luciferi. That all can be found in that website. And I go into the generational view of Satan much, much more, right? Okay. All right, everybody. I hope I didn't take up everybody's time today. This was a special request, and I wanted to talk about Satan to everybody and give you another perspective about Satan, right? There's going to be a lot of people that try to say, it's all. Now, remember about history. Like I said, there's mysteries always in history, okay? But remember what I said about history, too. There's real history, and it could be hidden history. It was kept for us, by us, our bloodlines, our families, the real believers throughout all the cultures, right? Continuity, holy shit. Satanism, left-hand path, our continuity does go back to the Brotherhood mystery schools. They all called it the Brotherhood. Do your own fucking research. There's continuity. Time for Satanism to unite. Under what? The banner of Satan. Not one satanic leader. Satan. And have a satanic collective. A satanic collective of sovereign Satanists. That's what Brotherhood of Satan is creating. There's no herd conformity whatsoever. We can all shine as leaders on our own. We get to get out there and do it in front of our brothers and sisters. You can't beat a better feeling than that. It's priceless. We shine on our own because we're sovereign. We're each that star, that satanic star above my head, okay? It represents us all on an individual satanic level. Again, does Satan really exist? To me, hell yes. Absolutely exists. Again, much of this is your soul level evolution, okay? Have you lived before or not? Where you're at on the spiritual level. Where is your flame, your black flame of Satan that's burning inside of you? What level is that? Is it at? Is it really fully ignited? You want to know Satan? Look in the flames of a fire. Deeply. You know Satan like Drew knows Satan. That is my soul. My black flame is not just a flame any longer. It's a raging fire. It's an infernal fire, alone dedicated to one master, Satan. Is that master outside of myself? Do I not believe myself? Yes, I fucking believe myself. And I'm wise enough to believe in Satan first. My real infernal father. Thanks, everybody, for your time. I hope you got a little bit out of this. Satan's a very controversial figure, okay? But I'm always going to champion that Satan does absolutely exist, okay? He exists in everything you ever wished and hoped for, even the secret thoughts that you don't want to tell anyone else. Where's Satan? Right fucking there. Hail Satan, everybody. Great to be back. I've got some pretty cool ones coming up soon, okay? Organizing for the fest. Oh, boy. Can't wait. Got some surprises there for everybody, all right? Hail Satan, everybody. Thanks for your time today. I appreciated our infernal clergy coming to me with a request to talk about Satan, a much maligned figure. It's his time. It's Satan's time. It's time to give the devil his due. So mote it be. Ad majorem Santane gloriam, to the greater glory of Satan, always and forever. Craft your life, live your craft.